Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to look at the Star Wars X-Wing miniatures game. Well, my Rebel Transport expansion finally came in the mail, so I'm a little pumped up about that. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about it, so this will be a more of an unboxing video than actual informative. I'm going to be learning on the fly here. So maybe in a future video, as I use it, I'll be able to explain some of the mechanics a bit better. But at least today I wanted to show you what came in the box so that at least you have an idea of what you're getting into should you buy it. Now, this is part of the Cinematic Wave, or Wave 3.5. I've already covered the Imperial Aces, which is part of that wave. You've got this expansion here. You've got the Rebel Aces, and then finally you'll have a Corellian Corvette expansion to complete the Cinematic Wave. So this is the second one out of that wave that I've covered so far. So without further ado, let's take a brief look at all of the components and see what's inside the box. Okay, now here's a quick look at all the components. Again, I've got my work cut out for me. I just opened the box maybe an hour ago, so some of these tokens, I don't know what they do. I do have my manual nearby here. As you can see, it is pretty extensive. The components list by itself takes up the entire first page, and it has 12 pages. And maybe if there's time, I'll go ahead and go over some of these new mechanics. But for the moment, let's go ahead and cover what you actually came here for. You obviously want to know what the model looks like. Well, let's take a look at that. This is the GR-75 medium transport, as seen in Empire Strikes Back at the beginning. So yeah, pretty big. This is what's considered a huge ship. There were small ships like your X-Wings, Y-Wings, and TIE Fighters, your large ships like your Fire Spray and your Millennium Falcon, and finally your huge ships. And they have their own special rules. Again, all of that is explained in the manual off to the side there. Now this expansion also comes with a standard X-Wing. It looks painted differently though. It looks like there's some red stripes, a little bit more detail. There's some red stripes along the top here, but otherwise it's your typical X-Wing starfighter. Now off camera I went ahead and put this thing together. The two clear plastic bases are separate from one another, but they can be sort of linked together via this large black base here that fits right on top of both. And then I just worked my way up from there. The supports were next, and I just put this on top. I had to do this to put it to make sure they fit together, but once they slid in together, it's fairly solid. But you want to be careful. Just not, it's obviously very expensive, quote unquote miniature. So try and keep it flat on the table if at all possible. Don't turn it upside down, flip it around, whatever the case may be. Now the range roller, I looked at this and went, how does this work? From what I can tell, and let's see if I can demonstrate here in this closed, confined space, there is a blue line right here in the middle of the black base. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's right there. It runs like this. And if you want to move straight, you'll pick a maneuver. Again, each ship gets a maneuver dial, and I'll show you this later. But let's say this transport picked the straight maneuver. What they would do is they would find the bottommost white line on the template here and line that up with the blue line like this. So now you've got the blue line running across the base, and that is now running into the white line. So from there, you just simply move the blue line up to the appropriate number. So if they moved 3 straight or 2 straight, you would move this blue line here up to the spot above the 2, which is right here. And that is an example of moving straight. Now, just to show you that again from a different angle in case that was hard to see, again, there's a blue line right here, bottommost white line. Again, let's say he was moving 2 straight. So we'll go ahead and just put the blue line here, white line here. They're running right into each other. And if you're going to move 2 straight ahead, you just simply move this blue line right up to the line above the 2, and that is representative of moving 2 straight. Turning is a bit more complicated. There is a little groove right here, and that's how you'll be maneuvering this template in order to get this thing to turn. What you'll do is you'll slide the little groove here so that it's nice and snug just above this blue line, there's a little groove on the base, and you'll just sort of do that. And when you're ready to move it, or whenever you feel it's snug in there, what you'll do is you'll leave the maneuver the maneuver template as is, and then you'll go ahead and just move this either here if you're making a 1 slight left, or up here if you're making a 2 slight left. Speaking of maneuver, I figured I'd briefly show you the maneuver dial. I'm not going to bother showing you the X-Wing. I've already covered the X-Wing in a prior video. But you'll notice you'll have your little number here and which way or which direction it'll go. But there's also some pink dots right underneath that number. Now, large ships gain energy, and some ships, like the transport, don't even have an attack value. So they'll be gaining energy after they move, and different maneuvers have different energy values. So as you move your transport, you accumulate energy, and then you can use that energy to perform certain actions that might be listed on the card itself, or maybe on an upgrade card. So here is just a quick look at that. You can make a slight left at 1, you can go straight at 1, slight right at 1. The 1 straight has 3 energy tokens as opposed to 2. You've got a 2 slight left, that's 1 energy. 2 straight is 2 energy tokens. Slight right at 2 is 1 energy token. 3 straight, 1 energy. 4 straight, no energy at all. Okay, now here's a brief look at the damage deck, and there's actually 2 different parts of the damage deck. One for the front of the transport, and one for the back of the transport. The top one over here is the front, and this one is the back. And basically, as damage is inflicted on this transport, and again, the blue line will help you determine where the damage is going to be inflicted, depending on the angle of the attack and different things like that. But you'll be drawing these damage cards depending from the appropriate deck, depending on where the attack actually hits. And I haven't gone through this yet, but let's just take a brief moment to look at some of these. Here's an example of the back command pod casualties. Assign 1 stress token to 1 friendly small or large ship. Then your opponent may assign 1 stress token to 1 of your small or large ships. Then flip this card face down. Reactor leak. When you execute a maneuver, reduce the amount of energy you gain by 1 to a minimum of 0. Again, these are all back or rear damage cards. Reactor cow rupture. When you perform a recover action, you cannot recover more than 2 shields. You must still spend all of your energy. And again, these are critical hits, mind you, not regular hits. If you want a regular damage card, just like in the main game, you would play these face down next to the ship card. But if these are all critical hits here. Now, just to look at some of the forward section ones, you've got a direct hit card. We all know what that is. What else we got? Direct hit, direct damage, stabilizers. When you execute a bank maneuver, left or right, suffer 1 damage. If you draw a damage card, draw it from the 4 damage deck. Action, roll 1 action die. On a hit result, flip this card face down. So as you can see, there are different critical hit effects across both decks. Now, just to get off the transport for a minute, we're going to take a look at some of the pilots that came with the X-Wing. We've got Wes Jansen, who I know from the X-Wing book series that I'm currently reading. Excellent series, by the way. This X-Wing, this pilot has a pilot skill of 8, standard stats here, special ability. After you perform an attack, you may remove 1 focus, evade, or blue target lock token from the defender. Pretty good ability considering that in most cases he'll fire first with a high pilot skill. Focus, target lock, and then your elite upgrade token or skill down here, upgrade card. Proton Torpedo Astromech has a point cost of 29. Next up, we have Jack Porkins, the poor guy that got blown up in A New Hope at the end there. I guess he just couldn't hold it. Anyway, pilot skill is 7, special ability, when you receive a stress token, you may remove it and roll 1 attack die. On a hit result, deal 1 face down damage card to this ship. So you can risk removing a stress token, but if you fail the roll, then you'll take damage. Again, same abilities here, focus, target, lock, elite, 26 points. You've got Hobby. I believe I heard his name mentioned in Empire Strikes Back, but I'm also reading him in the X-Wing series. He's an X-Wing, 5 pilot skill. When you acquire or spend a target lock, you may remove 1 stress token from your ship. I can see myself using this guy a lot. I mean, that's pretty powerful. Using when you acquire or spend a target lock. So you could do a lot of stressful maneuvers, and as long as you acquire or spend a target lock, you can remove that stress token right away. And you do I believe in X-Wing, you do your action first, and then you check for stress. So from the previous round, if you have a stress token, you can remove it. So pretty cool. Focus target lock, 25 points. Tarn missing. Pilot skill of 3. When an enemy ship declares you as the target of an attack, you may acquire a target lock on that ship. 23 points. No elite symbol, though. Red Squadron Pilot, Pilot Skill 4, 23 points. We know these cards already. Rookie Pilot, Pilot Skill 2, 21 points. Alright, now here's a quick look at the Lone Medium Transport Pilot card. You've got a Pilot Skill of 3. Again, the energy value here replaces the attack value. You've got 4. 0 agility, so no defense die unless there's some sort of upgrade card that changes that. You've got a hull value of 8, shields of 4. Ton of different actions down here that I've never seen before, and what looks like a companion cube in the upgrade bar for those of you that have played Portal. Yeah, so 2 looks like either crew or some type of crew upgrade, and looks like maybe cargo. I'll have to take a look at the manual. This has a point cost of 30, no special ability. So I guess let's take a look at some of these actions. I'm not going to read these word for word, but I'll try and give you a rundown. Let's see. Recover. What does it do? Remove all energy tokens from the GR75 ship's card. For each energy token removed, the GR75 recovers 1 shield. Okay. It cannot exceed its shield value with a recover action. Okay, so you're giving up all of your energy tokens to recover shields. Pretty simple. Next up, the Reinforce, and I believe I saw a token for that somewhere. There we go. What does it do? Let's see. When a GR75 with a reinforced token is defending, the reinforced token adds 1 evade result to its defense roll, but only if that token is assigned to the targeted section. So I guess if you had this reinforce assigned to the app section, but the enemy attacked the forward section, that wouldn't count. So interesting. This effect does not spend the reinforced token. So unlike focus or an evade token that smaller ships use, or large ships, then you won't actually spend it. That's pretty cool. It stays with that hull until, I guess, the end of the round. A reinforced token can provide this effect for multiple attacks during a single round. Okay. During the end phase, remove all reinforced tokens along with focus and evade tokens. Okay, good to know. Jam is the next one. This allows it to perform the jam action. To do so, choose one enemy ship at range 1 to 2 and assign it stress tokens until it has a total of 2 stress tokens. That is crazy. Okay. Coordinate is the 4th one. To do so, choose another friendly ship at range 1 to 2. The chosen ship may immediately perform 1 free action. Upgrade cards. There are a ton. I will do my best to get through all of these, but I may just ramble and mutter through some of these if I see them as repeats. R3A2, that looks like a new one. When you declare the target of your attack, if the defender is inside your firing arc, you may receive 1 stress token to cause the defender to receive 1 stress token. Kind of useful. If you give that to, who was it that I saw? Who has the ability to remove target locks? Hobby? If you combine that with him, he could remove stress tokens from his own ship using that target lock feature. And if you give an opponent a stress token, that limits their ability. They can't K-turn if you're behind them. So that's pretty cool. 2 points to upgrade there. R2D6. Your upgrade bar gains the elite upgrade icon. You cannot equip this upgrade if you already have an elite upgrade icon, or if your pilot skill is 2 or lower. Upgrade cost of 1. R4D6. When you are hit by an attack and there are at least 3 uncancelled hit results, you may choose and cancel those results until there are 2 remaining. For each result cancelled in this way, receive 1 stress token, 1 upgrade point. R5P9. At the end of the combat phase, you may spend 1 of your focus tokens to recover 1 shield. I like that. For only 3 points, that's pretty cool. So basically it's the R2-D2 effect, but in a different way. Fletchette torpedoes. It has an attack value of 3, range 2 to 3, 2 points. That's cheaper than a standard proton torpedo if memory serves. Attack target lock. Discard this card to spend your target lock to perform this attack. After you perform this attack, the defender receives 1 stress token if its hull value is 4 or lower. Cool. Okay, more of those. The WED-15 repair droid, that is a huge ship only. Action, spend 1 energy to discard 1 of your face-down damage cards. Or spend 3 energy to discard 1 of your face-up damage cards. That has a cost of 2. Pretty powerful card in my opinion. I mean, you could... This medium transport seems to be pretty self-sufficient as is with its recover and reinforce actions. And this on top of that, if you can repair hull damage, pretty cool. Torin Far, I don't believe I've heard of this person. Huge ship only, rebel only. Maybe she was involved in the Hoth battle. Maybe that one lady that was, again, behind this glass during one of the camera shots. Anyway, action. Spend any amount of energy to choose that many enemy ships at range 1 to 2. Remove all focus, evade, and blue target lock tokens from those ships. Cost of 6. I can see why it's expensive. Carlist Riken, maybe? General Riken. Yeah, huge ship only, rebel only. At the start of the activation phase, you may discard this card to treat each friendly ship's pilot skill value as 12 until the end of the phase. That has an upgrade cost of 3. One-time use. Jan Dodona, huge ship only, rebel only. When another friendly ship at range 1 is attacking, it may change 1 of its hit results to a critical results. Upgrade cost of 6, pretty powerful. Considering that there's, what, a 1 in 8 chance for rolling a critical, but, a 4 in 8 chance for rolling a hit? That's pretty cool. Expanded cargo hold. Once per round, when you would be dealt a face-up damage card, you may draw that card from either the fore or aft damage deck. There's that little cargo symbol down here, so I'm guessing these cards are for the huge ship there. That has a cost of 1. What is that? Tabana gas supplies. Energy. You may discard this card to gain 3 energy. One-time use then. Has an upgrade cost of 4. Comms booster. Spend 1 energy to remove all stress tokens from a friendly ship at range 1 to 3. Then assign 1 focus token to that ship. Holy crap. Pretty good. Cost of 4. Frequency jammer limited. I'm thinking that means you can only have 1. When you perform a jam action, choose 1 enemy ship that does not have a stress token and is at range 1 of that jam ship. The chosen ship receives 1 stress token, cost of 4. Backup shield generator limited. At the end of each round, you may spend 1 energy to recover 1 shield up to your shield value, cost of 3. Engine booster, limited, and immediately before you reveal your maneuver dial, you may spend 1 energy to execute a white straight maneuver, 1 head. You cannot use this ability if you would overlap another ship. It has a cost of 3. EM emitter, limited. When you obstruct an attack, the defender rolls 3 additional defense die instead of 1. Cost of 3. Shield projector. When an enemy ship becomes the active ship during the combat phase, you may spend 3 energy to force that ship to attack you, if possible, until the end of the phase. So sort of like a Biggs Darklighter effect. Slicer tools, action. Choose 1 or more enemy ships at range 1 to 3 that have a stress token. For each ship chosen, you may spend 1 energy to cause that ship to suffer 1 damage. Cost of 7. Bright Hope, that looks like a title. GR75 only, title. Plus 2 energy. A reinforced token assigned to your 4 section adds 2 evade results instead of 1. Upgrade cost of 5. The Quantum Storm title, plus 1 energy. At the start of the end phase, if you have 1 or few energy tokens, gain 1 energy token. Cost of 4. Duty Free, plus 0. So it's a title, but plus 0 energy. But I guess the special effect might be worth it. When performing a jam action, you may choose an enemy ship at range 1 to 3 instead of 1 to 2. Okay, not too bad. Cost of 2. Combat Retrofit. GR75 only, huge ship only modification. Increase your hull value by 2 and your shield value by 1. That is the largest point upgrade card I've ever seen. 10. Holy crap. Alright, and that concludes all of the upgrades. Okay, so I was skimming the manual to see if there was anything worth noting. For one, the epic icon here. Basically, any cards with this epic icon on it can't be used in tournament play. They could be fielded by players, obviously, in casual play. You've got some other miscellaneous rules worth noting. During the activation phase, the GR75 activates after all small and large ships have activated. So if you have a TIE fighter with a pilot skill of 1, an Academy pilot, they would move first before the large ship activates. So that's pretty interesting. Some other things worth noting, I've mentioned already that energy takes the place of the attack value on the card, at least in this expansion, and that certain maneuvers will grant you so many energy. But it looks like some steps have been added to the activation phase. According to this, to gain and spend energy, the GR75 resolves 2 additional steps during the activation phase. These steps occur between the cleanup and perform action steps, and they occur in the following order. Gain energy. The GR75 gains a number of energy tokens equal to the number of energy icons shown on the chosen maneuver on the maneuver dial. Okay, so basically that's what I was explaining before. And use energy. The GR75 may use 1 or more of its upgrade cards or damage cards with the energy header. Each card with this header can be used only once per round. Some things to note about the combat phase. Again, I'm just reading these off for the benefit of those interested about learning this expansion. If you already know this, I apologize, but I figured it would be useful information. Combat phase attacks. The GR75 cannot perform an attack during the combat phase. GR75 ability, or agility rather. The GR75 has an agility value of 0, but it can roll additional defense die granted by card effects, range combat modifiers like range 3 for example, obstructed attacks, and etc. Targeting the GR75. Let's see. To target the GR75, choose a section, either fore or aft, of the GR75 that the attacking ship can target normally. Then measure a line from the exact center of the attacking ship's base to the exact center of the base for the chosen section of the GR75. If this line is not obstructed by the blue center line on the GR75 ship token, the attacker can declare the chosen section as his target. So basically, it wants to know, basically, you're going to be looking at this blue center line. Let's say there's a TIE fighter over here, and it's trying to attack the rear section. It's facing this way. If there is a line on the range ruler that would cross over this to the center here, it cannot attack the back portion of this transport, but only the forward section. So I guess it's basically just to check for line of sight. Now, some other things to note. The range of the attack is determined by the line measured from the closest point of the attacking ship to the closest point of the chosen GR75 section that is inside the attacking ship's firing arc. Closest base to closest base as normal. If using an attack that ignores firing arcs, this line is measured without regards to the firing arc. Okay, let's see some other things here. Huge ship rules. This might be interesting. Setup. I'm not going to bother with that. Overlapping. Overlapping huge ships. Well, when a huge ship executes a maneuver and the final position of one of its sections overlaps one or more huge ships, use the standard rules for overlapping ships as described on page 17 of the core set rulebook. Okay, good to know. And however, the huge ship that moved does not skip its perform action step. Interesting. Instead, both huge ships are dealt 1 face-up damage card. Each player draws this damage card from the deck that corresponds to the ship's affected section. Overlapping small or large ships. When a huge ship executes a maneuver and the final position of one of its sections overlaps one or more small or large ships, the small or large ships overlapped by the huge ship are immediately destroyed, and the huge ship completes its maneuver. Holy crap! So you could basically just run into a swarm of TIE fighters and take them all out. That's pretty cool. The huge ship does not skip its perform action step. Then the huge ship player rolls 1 attack die for each small ship destroyed in the overlap, and 2 attack dice for each large ship destroyed in the overlap. Then the huge ship 4 section suffers any hit damage or critical damage rolled. Pretty cool. Some other quick notes about overlapping, and again, I'm just reading on the fly here, but when a huge ship executes a maneuver and the final position of one of its sections overlaps one or more obstacle tokens, the huge ship is dealt one face-up damage card, so no rule check, unlike a smaller or large ship. Pretty interesting. What else we got here? Small, large ship overlapping a huge ship. So I'm guessing this is when a small or large ship would run into a huge ship. When a small or large ship executes a maneuver and the final position of its base overlaps a huge ship, the overlapping ship must follow the rules under plastic bases overlapping. Additionally, the player controlling the overlapping ship rolls one attack die and suffers any damage and critical damage rolled. So you only destroy the ship immediately if the medium transport runs into them, not if someone else runs into the medium transport. At least that's what I'm gathering from this. Ion tokens, I was interested in this because I wanted to see how that affected a large ship. Some card abilities may cause a ship to receive an ion token. Huge ships do not suffer the standard effects of ion tokens. Instead, when a huge ship gains energy during its gain energy step, reduce the amount of energy it gains by 1 for each ion token assigned to it. Then remove all ion tokens from the ship at the end of the activation phase. Alright, well, my battery's yelling at me, so suffice it to say that the manual has a number of other rules to look at. Target lock tokens, obstructing, free actions, assault missiles, using the huge ship as an obstacle, new upgrade cards, the campaign missions here, the evacuation of Hoth, and it looks like there's little scorecards here. I saw them over here, but I didn't know what they were, so this is for the campaign. What else we got? Evacuation. Here's some tokens that I'm not familiar with. I'm guessing that's what some of these are up here. So some extra tokens to look at. You've got the blockade run, so there's another scenario in here. Asteroid Gauntlet, there's a third scenario. Mission 8 Rendezvous. So there's a total of 4 different scenarios or missions in here. Pretty cool. And you also got your little template guide on the back of the manual. Alright, so I obviously didn't cover everything in the manual, but hopefully this gives you a nice little preview / look at what this particular expansion has to offer and whether or not you really want to pick it up. The price tag on it, again, I think it was between, I want to say $55 and $70 depending on where you shop. So pretty big investment, but I am looking forward to trying this out and seeing how it works as a support ship. That is what this medium transport is designed to do. Not meant to attack, although I'm sure you could, just classify it as a rammer and just take out TIE swarms all over the place. But yeah, this ship is primarily designed to be a support ship, and I'm really anxious to see how the different support actions affect the other ships on the playing field, like the X-Wings, the Y-Wings, and so on and so forth. So you can check out my review of the core game at www.dadsgamingaddiction.com, where you can click on the links in the below description that'll take you there as well. This is Vince, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.